All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Baharachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone who teach and rule well. And peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, pushing this gospel amongst the four winds with truth and sincerity. You, I say shalom. All right, this is your brother Parathon with a quick lesson. Just going into the elect, man. So many precepts. Right, but the elect were chosen, were established since before the beginning, and they will remain after it's all said and done. Right, for the elect's sake, everything around us was created, man. Even these other nations, which are our servants, and I get that, Lord willing. Right, so I open up with Isaiah 1:9. Right, it says, "Except Yahweh of hosts had left unto us a very small remnant, we should have been as Sodom, and we should have been like unto Gomorrah." Right, so if it wasn't for the remnant of the elect, right, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, Seminole, West Indians, and Haitians are that legendary bloodline, God's chosen people. If it wasn't for the elect men, the mighty men, no flesh will be saved. As Mark, I believe that, what's that, Mark 13:20, it says, "And except that the Lord have shortened those days, no flesh should be saved, but for the elect's sake, whom he had chosen, he have shortened the days, because destruction's coming." Right? A third of our people are going to be saved, and that's the elect. They'll be kept from the evils to come. They'll be kept from judgment. Why? Because they have that thawah, right? Ezekiel 9:4. They have that mark of exemption, or that seal spoken of in Revelation 7. That seal in their foreheads, man. The Lord's signature. Where was I going? Zechariah 13:8. "And it shall come to pass that in that land, that in all the land, saith Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. And they shall call on my name, and I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people. And they shall say, the Lord Yahweh is my power," because he is our power. Now, he is the ultimate creator. He is the one true God, the one true power, who in the kingdom will be given back that reverence, that respect, right? That honor, okay? That fealty. But these other nations aren't worthy of the name. Shit. 2/3 of our people aren't worthy of the name. That's why, what is it? 1 Peter 4. I don't mean to keep jumping around, but I'm going to hit this point. That's why 1 Peter 4:17, it says what? It says, "For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh." That's Zion. That's Israel, the nation of Israel. Judgment's going to start with us, because we are the favorite. We are that peculiar nation, that separate, that holy nation that we were given the law, statutes, and commandments to govern to govern the world, to lead by example. Right? We are the only ones that could sin and that can repent for our sins. These other nations aren't under the law. Right? So this society, the way this, these modern standards and these customs of living, this is normal to them. This is their culture. We the sore thumb sticking out. We're the black sheep. At least a third of us are. We love not our lives unto death, man. Right? But we're held at a higher standard. Especially if you're an Israelite, and there's 9 times out of 10, you know that you're an Israelite. You heard the brothers speaking on it out on the highways and byways. If it wasn't that, it was TikTok, YouTube, some type of social media, right? And it may have been a testimony that the Lord may have put you through that you're not acknowledging. Okay, but everybody's seen or heard or knows who the Israelites are. And that's mainly our people. Shit, everybody else knows. So there's no excuse. That's why judgment is going to start at the house. And if it begin first at us, what shall be the end of those that obey not the gospel? Right? 2/3 of our people, they're cooked. It says, verse 18, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and sinner appear? Wherefore let them that suffer according to the will of Yahweh commit the keeping of their souls to him in well-doing as unto a faithful creator. So we will suffer. We will continue to suffer because we are conscious of what we're suffering for. It makes sense. You can suffer for the crown, or you could suffer to reincarnate in back in the kingdom, being birthed through the loins of the elect with your head down. What is that? Everlasting shame and contempt, roughly paraphrasing. Either way, it's a win, man. But come on. Why not take that chance at that incorruptible crown? You owe it to yourself. We are so much more than we've been told, man, than we've been taught. But it starts here, right? Let's get back on topic. So we just went from what? We had Isaiah 9. We jumped to Mark 13, right? For the elect's sake. The Lord sped the times up, right? Judgment's going to start at the house. Let's run back. And it really is a beautiful story, man. The greatest story ever told. Isaiah 10 and 22. That's beautiful. It's Isaiah 10 and 20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped out of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord Yahweh, the Holy One of Israel, in truth. The remnant shall return, even the remnant of Jacob, into the mighty power of Yahweh. It says, for though my people be as the sand of the sea, yet a remnant of them shall return. The consumption decreed shall overflow with righteousness. All you hear is remnant, Jacob, the mighty power, remnant, Israel, Yahweh, right? It says that, because the Lord said that he said that our nation would become, we would be a great nation. He told Abraham that he would be the father of many nations, in which he is, right? But there is a chosen nation within those nations. Even all of Israel isn't of Israel, man, because 2/3 of our people have to die, man. 2/3 of our people are carnal. They're spiritually uncircumcised. They don't believe. Let's see, because we can jump to, it's 10. I got chapter 17 written down. Let me see what this is. Isaiah 17 and verse 16. That's clearly the wrong. Salakia. Isaiah 24:12. It says, the city is left in ruins, its gates battered down. NLT. Throughout the earth, the story is the same. Only a remnant is left. Like the stray olives left on the tree, or the grapes, or the few grapes left on the vine after harvest. But all who are left shout and sing for joy. Those in the west praise Yahweh's name, praise Yahweh's majesty. You know, just going into that remnant again. We're referred to as olives, grapes, you know, the vineyards, the clusters. And even going back to let me jump back to Mark 13 and 20. It says, and except that the Lord have shortened the days, no flesh should be saved, but for the elect's sake, whom he hath chosen, he have shortened the days. So again, the elect were chosen. They were picked, right? To prove that, we can jump to John 17. All right, John 17:12. It says, during my time here, I protected them by the power of the name you gave me. Them referring to the elect. This is Yahweh Shai speaking. It says, I guarded them so that not one was lost except one headed for destruction, except the one headed for destruction, as the scriptures foretold. Now I am coming to you. I told them many things while I was with them in this world, so they would be filled with joy. The gospel, the law, statutes, and commandments, right? He was the comfort. He was the literal comforter while he walked with the apostles, right? It says, I have given them your word, and the world hates them because they do not belong to the world, just as I do not belong to the world. And I'll read 15 in the KJV. This is the point. It says, I pray not that thou shouldest take them out of the world, but that thou shouldest keep them from the evil. So with that being said, right, now we can jump back. I want to jump back to Zechariah 13. Because Yahweh Shai prayed that that Yahweh would take us not out of the world, but to protect us from the evil, right? Because this is the furnace of adversity, right? It's Zechariah 13:9 again. And I will bring the third part through the fire. I will bring the elect through the fire, right? The furnace of adversity, and refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my power. Shalakia. This is Sirach 2:5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. That furnace of adversity that's the fire. That's us being tried as gold and silver's tried, purging the impurities off of us, and building our character and our spirit up for what's to come. And honestly, that leads me to, that's Matthew 7:13. You can enter into Yahweh's kingdom only through the narrow gate. The highway to hell is broad, and the gate is wide for many who choose the way, but the gateway to life is very narrow, and the road is difficult, and only a few ever find it. So let's read this again in the KJV. Enter ye in at the straight gate, All right, straight going into narrow or bad, bad situations. It's a path of difficulty, if you will. It's a narrow path. Anytime something's narrow, a path is narrow, and you're trying to squeeze through. You get what I'm saying, right? So enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. So the broad way to destruction, 9 times out of 10, scriptures say don't follow a multitude to do evil, but the majority, that's what they're doing. So the majority is going to lead. They're going to be led to they're going to choose the broad way because it seems like it's the easy way out. There's no resistance in the broad way. You could just breeze on through. That more narrow path, you're going to have some resistance, right? You're going to have some opposition. You're going to jump through hoops. You're going to go through obstacles. You're going to be tried. Right? And that's the whole point. We have to understand that the kingdom of heaven is not just going to be given to us. We can't just waltz in there. Like, all right, it's and Yahweh Shai, it was so beautiful about these scriptures, man. He spoke so plainly. He spoke so plainly, man. Right? Like he spoke in riddles. It was parabolic, right? It's poetic. So when you read it, you almost like even us, man. You read it 2 and 3 times and you get a different meaning. You get a different meaning every time. You learn something new. You hear something different. It's like listening to a great artist, a lyricist that his music is timeless, man. You can go back and listen to something and you hear something different. Well, this is that song. This is the new song. This is how we feel when we read these scriptures every time. We go back, Old Testament, New, bouncing back and forth. You read a precept or go into a story and you get a different, you acquire, it's a different perspective, if you will, right? These scriptures are deep. A precept of this is second Edris. And I went a little over, man. I'm going to go ahead and close out with this one. We want second Edris. In second Edris 7 and 3. It says, and I said, speak on, my power. Then said he unto me, the sea is set in a wide place that it might be deep and great. But put the case, the entrance were narrow like a river. Who then could go in to the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? There is also another thing. A city is built and set upon a broad field and is full of all good things. This is the kingdom. The entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water, right? On the left, the deep water, right? It's how the Lord flooded the earth in the account of Noah. On the right is fire. He's going to flood the earth with fire this time. So it's parabolic even there. Both being, both 2 judgments on the left and right hand, right? One of past times and one of what's to come. Both both fuels for motivation to stay on that straight and narrow. You lean a little towards the left or towards the right, you done. So we have to stay locked in. We have to be balanced in this walk. We got to maintain that balance, that focus, and keep the tunnel vision, right? Not getting entangled with the affairs of this life, just renewing that inner man daily. It's verse 6, and there's another thing, verse 7. Salakia, the entrance thereof is narrow. Salakia, verse 8. And only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. You got to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. It's a lonely walk, man. It's verse 9. And if the city were now given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? So we have to earn this, man. Even though we the elect won. All right. The nation of Israel, the Lord already conquered. He already conquered the victory, man. Yahweh Shai won, right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh. We're just playing this out now. Now we got to do our part. We have to put forth our effort until he reveals unto us who's who. You either going to be one of them first fruits or you're going to be left behind. But we won either way. So we have to go through this furnace of adversity, all right, to receive this inheritance. Lord willing, we are accounted of that number. And Lord willing, we endure unto the end. Verse 10, and I said, it is so, Lord. Then he said unto me, even so also is Israel's portion. For their sakes I made the world, and when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. Then were the entrances of this world made narrow and full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil. They are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful. For the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure, and brought immortal fruit. If then they that labor do not enter, Salakia, if they then that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they could never receive those that are laid up for them. Now therefore, why disquietest thou thyself, seeing thou art but a corruptible man, and thou art moved, whereas thou art but mortal? That's the point. This whole chapter is fire. But I just wanted to bring that point out, man. We got to work. Though everything, and I part to this, right? Just got some other precepts I want to bring out, Lord willing. All right, but this furnace of adversity is to build us up, man. It's to prepare us for something great. We have a seat and a crown waiting for us on high, man. All right, so with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Baha Rakha Kwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the whole for elect. All right, Kwam Yasharallah and the Baba Bar. Shalom.